Good day, students. Hope you all are doing good. So, in this class, we'll be seeing a poem. If the poem name is IFF. Okay. Now, let's see the learning outcomes. At the end of this class, you'll be able to describe about the poet, his notable works, and his achievements, and mention the theme and context of the poem. Explain the meaning of the first and second stanza. Give an outline about the first two stanzas. Okay. Now, let me ask you all a question. What will you do if you are a bird? Yes, you'll fly from one place to another. You'll fly so high to the level of sky. You will also travel across the oceans and countries without any worries. Yes, yeah, you'll be so happy, right? Now, this poem is a set of guidelines on how to live and act with integrity and moral values such that one becomes the ideal human. This poem tells us how to make ourselves better in this kind of society and world, and how to be happy and satisfied, how to deal with people, all these things. Okay, now first let's see about the poet. This poem, If, was written by Rudyard Kipling. His full name is Joseph Rudyard Kipling. He was born on 30th December 1865 in Bombay when India is under British rule, and he died at the age of 70 on 18th January 1936 in London, UK. He was an English journalist, short story writer. He was also a poet and novelist. During the late 19th and early 20th century, he was one of the most popular writer of the United Kingdom. And in 1907, he was awarded with Nobel Prize in Literature as the first English language writer to receive the prize. And at the age of 41, its youngest recipient till date. And George Orwell saw Kipling as a jingo imperialist. Okay, that is jingo imperialist, meaning a morally insensitive man. Then his notable works are The Jungle Book, Just So Stories, Kim, Captain Courageous, If, Gangadan, and The White Man's Burden. Now we'll see about the poem. This poem was published in 1910 under the title Rewards and Fairies. This is a literary example of Victorian era Stoicism. This poem lists out a set of conditions for the speaker's son to follow in his life in order to become an ideal man. The speaker says how to perceive the world, how to tackle different problems by having a cool mind and overcoming such problems and barriers in life. Now, the theme of the poem, it's very simple. There is a high moral code and conduct. It's a blueprint for all those qualities and virtues which we must inculcate within us to be able to call ourselves as complete human beings and also to attain success in life. This poem also expresses the poet's personal philosophy and wisdom. The context, it's that it was inspired by Leander Starr Jameson, who was a military leader. Unfortunately, the Red Army he led was a failure. He failed in the Transvaal Republic in 1895. The poem basically consists of an unknown speaker giving advice to a young boy about how to become a man, which is why it's often read at graduation and commencement ceremonies. So, in this poem, Kipling encourages virtues like patience, integrity, modesty, control, tolerance, determination, and confidence. Okay, so that's it about the theme and context. Now we'll read the poem once and we'll see the meaning in detail. If you can keep your head when all about you are losing theirs and blaming it on you, if you can trust yourself when all men doubt you but make allowance for their doubting too, if you can wait and not be tired by waiting or being lied about, don't deal in lies, or being hated, don't give way to hating, and yet don't look too good, nor talk too wise. If you can dream and not make dreams your master, if you can think and not make thoughts your aim, if you can meet with triumph and disaster and treat those two impostures just the same, if you can bear to hear the truth you have spoken, twisted by knaves to make a trap for fools, or watch the things you gave your life to broken, and stoop and build them up with one or tools. If you can make one heap of all your winnings and risk it on one turn of pitch and toss, and lose and start again at your beginnings, and never breathe a word about your loss. If you can force your heart and nerve and sinew to serve your turn long after they are gone, and so hold on when there is nothing in you except the will which says to them, hold on. If you can talk with crowds and keep your virtue, or walk with kings nor lose the common touch, if neither foes nor loving friends can hurt you, if all men count with you but none too much, if you can fill the unforgiven minute with 60 seconds worth of distance run, yours is the earth and everything that's in it, and which is more, you'll be a man, my son. So that's the poem. First, we'll see the meaning of first stanza. If you can keep your head when all about you are losing theirs and blaming it on you, if you can trust yourself when all men doubt you, but make allowance for their doubting too. What he tries to say is that the speaker advises his son to cultivate a cool mind, keeping his attitude very cool and chill mind when others around him are losing it and blaming on him. He also advises his son not to repay low behavior with low behavior, which means if someone thinks bad for us, we also should not think bad for them. Instead, we should repay them with good things and show kindness. He also tells him not to respond to lies with lies or hate with hate. In other words, we can say when others go low, you should go high. He advises his son should make this all look very natural and effortless. Kipling says to stay strong and clear headed, even if others are hostile towards us, to trust ourselves even when others don't trust us. He says, not be tired of waiting. This is to encourage the patience, to not lie, even if people lie about us, to not hurt, not to hate others, even if we are hated ourselves, and finally, not to boast, which means not to look so perfect. Don't look too good, nor talk too wise. It means not to boast about ourselves that we are perfect. Okay, he says we should not let our strength visible to others. Okay, we shouldn't look too good, nor talk too wise. Okay. Now, the next stanza. If you can dream and not make dreams your master, if you can think and not make thoughts your aim, think, okay? And if you can meet with triumph and disaster and treat those two impostors just the same. What is this triumph and disaster? Here, the speaker turns to advising his son to develop self control as well as an ability to hear the truth and avoid flattery and have grace under the pressure. No matter what happens, his son should respond to it with a cool mind and heart, treating triumph and disaster with the same ease. Triumph is a success or victory, and disaster is a failure or the hazard. The poet says to remain calm and treat both victory and failure the same. He calls both the triumph and disaster as impostors. Impostors means people who assume false or fake character to deceive others. Okay. He says, if you can bear to hear the truth, you have spoken. If you can bear to hear the truth, you have spoken. Twisted by knaves. What is knaves? What he tries to say is that knaves means dishonest and unprincipled men or rogues. Okay, those people who don't have any moral values. What he tries is that we should stay strong and be able to face when others, like knaves, they manipulate and make our truth as false ones. He also says that if his life his life's work is broken, he should simply and quietly pick up the pieces and rebuild as if it is costing him no effort. Okay, so on the whole, this stanza gives advice on our thoughts and actions. We should think and dream, but not allow these to control us, and we should not be too influenced by moments of extreme success or extreme failure. We should treat both success and failure just the same. Okay, we should also be able to withstand seeing our truths manipulated by fake people and our hard work coming under or being broken. When something we've put effort into has broken, we should work very hard to fix it again. So that's what he tries to say in this stanza. Now let's have a quick recap with the first and second stanza. In the first stanza, Kipling asked the young boy to keep his to keep his attitude very cool and not to repay low behavior with low behavior. Instead, to show some good, good vibes, good behavior, and do good for such people. He also asked him not to respond to lies with lies and hate with hate. We should trust ourselves even if others don't trust us. He also asks us to wait and have patience, not to lie and hate others, and also not to look too perfect and boasting, which may show our strengths to others. In the second stanza, he says, he asked the boy to think and dream but has control over his thoughts and actions. He also asks him not to get influenced by extreme situations like extreme to the core of happiness like success or to the core of failure, which he mentions as triumph and disaster. He asks him to withstand seeing his truths manipulated by others and his hard work being broken. He says when something we did goes wrong or broken, we should simply combine the broken pieces and rebuild ourselves. Okay, so this is the message he has conveyed through these two stanzas. So by now you should be able to describe about the poet, his notable works and his achievements, right? And also you should be able to mention the theme and context of the poem, explain the meaning of the first two stanzas, and give an outline about the first two stanzas. Okay, thank you, students.